Oh, one of the baby fish died, guys. Sad. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. Alright, guys. We're going to do some tortices. What do I want to do right now? I think we go with this. All right, guys. Minnesota. Okay, we're gonna share this. Share. All right, guys. Minnesota. Nothing much. We're getting ready to go on a walk, guys. We're gonna go on a walk. So, it's gonna be an adventure because I don't exactly 100% know where I'm going. Get some sunglasses here. Not 100% sure where I'm going. By the way, do you speak Korean fluently by now? I understand Korean a lot more than I speak. My problem is I don't actually really use Korean that much. Most of my time is spent doing remote work or working with English-speaking clients. So I don't actually speak Korean that often. And my wife is like very, very, I don't want to say lazy, but she doesn't like talking to me in Korean because it's tedious. So I actually don't speak it as much as I understand it. So we're going to wear some sunglasses today. We're going to be wearing some sunglasses. And then, yeah, we're going to get going, guys. So I normally don't wear this, but it's super bright out today and get all squinty-eyed. Lord have mercy, it's just a mess here. What the hell is going on? I swear the Lord in high. I might get a call from the wife at some point, guys. It is just a trash can. I'm gonna have my daughter. I'm about to lose my mind on my daughter, guys. She leaves the trash everywhere. I'm about to freak out. All right, girl, why the hell is there garbage everywhere? What the hell are they doing in the mornings? Holy crap. There's just garbage literally everywhere. What is this? Those are noodles. Lord have mercy. There's just trash everywhere, guys. It's just trash everywhere. What are we going to do about it? All right. I know what we're going to do about it. We're going to take out the trash. That's what we're going to do. Brr, I'm about to goddamn beat your ass. All right, hold on, guys. 1 second. That's. All right. Almost there, guys. You're learning to read? Well, that's a problem for you, isn't it? Okay. Shoe. It feels a little bit chilly, but I feel like I'm going to get really cold or warm when I go walking. So I'm going to take the risk of going out without no house tour right now. Oh shoot, I need to grab that. We're on a mission for the wife. The wife has told me to go get something done. And so we're on a mission. Actually, you know what? While we're at it. All right, everybody, say hello to the torts. Here, we'll just do this. It's easier. I can see where I'm pointing it. They've eaten most of their food. I might have to put some extra in there. I got their little drinking / bathing dish. I gotta replace this water here soon. But Dimitri is over here in the corner. It looks like he shoved the dish out of the way. Say hello, Dimitri. Say hello. There you go. And we got Anya right here. Okay, guys. Let's go get them some food real quick, because I think they're getting a little low. They're getting a little low. Got some. No one's been timed out. Get you guys some sunlight there. Feel the water. It's a little bit chilly. We'll get them some warm water later. Go put away. This box of lettuce. Oh, guys, I'm getting a call. Hold on. It is going to pause the stream for a second. It's going to pause it for a second. So, all right, sorry about that, guys. So I was, what denomination were you before Orthodox? I was from a Reformed background. So Reformed like Baptist, Reformed, Calvinist, kind of that. So yeah, I come from a reformed background. That's where I grew up. Grew up in Minnesota, so it's a very unique cultural landscape in Minnesota, especially when I was younger. It's a lot different now, a lot more different now, but mostly in the Twin Cities. So. Yes, that's true. You guys are going to see mostly Korea in a second. You're not going to see my ugly mug. So you guys, if you have questions about Korea, if you have questions about other things, it could be any topic really, let me know if you want to. So we're going to be able to see a little bit of the rural area, and then I'm going to be walking all the way over to, oh, it's beautiful out. As long as it's not windy, it's really nice out. And I don't think it's going to be windy, so thankfully, I think it's going to be a pretty dang nice day out. So boxes go here. All right. All right. So put this in my front pocket so I don't lose it. All right. So yeah, we're going to be, if I come there, will you be a good American tour guide for fellow Orthodox? If you guys show up to Korea, I will definitely, at least the very minimum, take you guys out and about. If you want an actual tour guide, somebody who's going to actually take you places, show you things, I'm probably not the biggest expert But I do know somebody who, on the side, makes a little bit of money helping plan out like trips for people. My like a travel guide. I do know somebody who's really good at that stuff. They happen to be one of my family members, but I could definitely recommend you them. But yeah, normally I'd just be like, hey, let's meet up one time or twice or something like that to get like a beer or something like that, or eat some delicious food. It's always best to come to Korea though if you are not planning on fasting, because if you have to fast, you're not going to be able to enjoy a lot of the great delicacies here. Or you'll have to break your fast, which is always less preferable. Not saying impossible, less preferable. So, okay guys. So, this cluster of apartments, this cluster of apartments, and that cluster of apartments, and then there's 2 more back there. So there's 5 total. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, there's 5 clusters of apartments total, and they're all the same brand. So the brand owns the land. So they own this physical land here, okay? The landscaping is theirs. All these little park benches are theirs. But you can own the condo itself. So if the apartment building or the land on it becomes unstable, or they have to tear it down for some reason, there is a way for you to get your money back. There is a way for you to get your money back, and the way that you do that is they have a thing called cholse here, or key money. And so if you're renting, you can lower your rental costs by putting more money down as a down payment. So the more money you put as a down payment, the lower your rental costs will be. So say your rent, I'll give you an example. Let's say your rent is $1,000 a month. Okay? Let's just, we'll use US dollars. And let's say you put a down payment of $5,000 on it. It will lower that by a certain percentage. So maybe instead of paying $1,000, you'll pay only $800. If you put $10,000 down, you might only be paying $600, right? And the cool thing is that at the end of your lease, you get that money back. So the whole point is to give the owner of the apartment a larger stipend. There's really no bike paths here. There's here there is, but the whole sidewalk is just technically where bikes are supposed to be. You're supposed to give way for bikes, but you're not. There's no specific bike path. So no, I am not a Dutchman. Which church fathers would I be focused on collecting? There's some good collections out there. I would say you want to focus on some of the really early ones, like Ignatius, Dionysius, the Dionysian corpus, I think is really important. Athanasius, they're all very early. Clement of Rome. Those guys, those are the some of the solid ones that you start with. That's my opinion. But I honestly, it really comes down to what does your spiritual father think about these things, and what is his guidance to you, right? So this is your typical little park. These little tiny parks are everywhere here in Korea, and there will be at least 2 or 3 in the apartment clusters themselves. St. Justin Martyr, thank you. And they have this kind of springy. It's kind of springy. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's it's not soft, but it's not hard either. It's this kind of springy thing. And some of them will be all wood, some of them will be not. But ouch, son of a gun. Oh, there we go. And then also throughout all the walking paths throughout all of Korea, there are little mini workout gyms. So every single one of them will have at least some of these, and some of them will be different. Most of them are body weight, but I have seen a couple that have I've seen some that have like a, what do you call it? I've seen some that have bench presses, but they're attached, so the weights are attached by like a metal string, and then you can bench yourself, and then there's a bar to stop it from going on your neck, since it's not a formal gym. They don't want anyone to get hurt. But here, so they do all of this. They keep in really like all this. There's a little basketball court over there. It looks like the bathroom's being worked on right now, but as you can see, they're very, very pro, like people getting on walks, going and doing things. Absolutely gorgeous out right now, guys. I can't even tell you, like I can't even describe like how beautiful it is right now. Absolutely gorgeous. If it was a tiny bit breezier, it would be a little bit uncomfortable, and I'd probably have to go and get a jacket, but I'm walking right now as well. Good. Get walking. This is what the ground looks like here in Korea mostly. It's very rocky. Very rocky. The soil here is not the greatest quality soil, which is all the crazier that they have some of the best farming, like some of the best farmers out there. Korea has been able to make do with really poor quality soil for a long time. And so they know what they're doing. Koreans and Japan, Koreans don't like being compared to other Asians generally. And I don't think any of the Asian groups generally like being compared to each other. They are very, very distinct. And so a lot of times you're just not going to. So I always recommend against it. You don't want to piss off Koreans. If you want to get them all riled up, you definitely compare them to like Chinese. And depending on the Korean, some of them are not the biggest fans of Japanese as well. But more on like a governmental level, I think like your average Korean actually likes Japanese people because they're very positive, they're very nice people. Guys, remember to smash that like, share the stream, all that nonsense. If you have any questions, it doesn't matter. It could be theological, it could be about Korea, it could be about life, it could be about anything. We're just doing a casual, chill stream, guys. We're chill streaming. So this is like your typical standalone house here in Korea. They're not super large. Now that is not a traditional home, but it is pretty standard in terms of size. Even the homes that have, like, you have your own property and your own, like, land, even those are not going to have, like, huge houses. They just don't do big houses. Everything is compact here. And part of the reason is because, well, one, there's not, you have to pay for square footage, like, in terms of property taxes. And two, I don't think they really, no, not property taxes, I'm sorry. Yeah, like, you only have limited space, so they prefer to have more outdoor space and build very compact. So that's a more modern home, pretty new. But it's a great place. Marquez or whatever his name is. Some people like it, some people don't. I love Korea. I love the food. I love the people. I generally like the living conditions, though. I'm not a big fan of this style of architecture. I think it's ugly. There's a little cafe there. Let you look out. What are your thoughts on duck ponds? I don't know what a duck pond, like a place for ducks. Have at it, I say. Have at it, I say. I think that this leads across. Yes, it does. Most people here in Korea, if you do not speak Korean with at least passable Korean, you're not going to be able to find work without outside of very specific career fields. That being said, it is possible, but I highly recommend people learn Korean first. I highly recommend it. Learn Korean first, then go to Korea if you can. You don't want to play, you want to do it like me. I had to play catch up. So my Korean is okay, but I've had to play catch up because I didn't bother to learn Korean early. And so when you get into like a routine, there's no pressure. So are duck ponds being good for self-sufficient? Well, ducks in general are. And duck eggs are really, really, really nutrient dense. Ducks generally are just really, really good for you. I need to see what's coming. This road doesn't have a sidewalk, guys, so I'm kind of like, I'm a bit perplexed on what I need to be doing here. Doing some construction over here. Korean is really simple to get the basics down. What becomes a problem is actually like utilizing it. So learning to read it is really simple. Even learning to understand what you're listening to. But actually speaking it, you have to like be consistent at it because it has a very different structure in terms of like the way it's like understood than most. Looks like they're doing some building here. They must be building like a park or something like that. Oh, this is a back road. So this is a back road. There's not going to be a lot of like Koreanness. But this is very, like, Korea's weather is very similar to like upper Midwest, except it's a little more temperate. And the reason it's more temperate is because it's a peninsula. And because it's a peninsula and surrounded by water, it has a warm current that keeps the weather pretty mild. So, all right, we're gonna be walking all the way. So actually, those are my old apartments over there. My old apartments are right over there. Those are the ones I used to rent from, but we moved. So, okay. Summer in Korea is brilliant. I don't know why people always complain. It's hot, but it's not like humid like Florida. It's not like hot, humid like Florida. And it's not nearly as bad. They're doing construction. It's just a little messy over here too. I need to be honest. I have no complaints. But I'm from Minnesota, man. I'm from where like half your year is winter. And the other like half is like tolerable and then miserable summer. So like this is like some of the best, most temperate weather ever. You get a little bit of each season. The spring and the fall is just brilliant here. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. So well, see, there's a huge difference between 92 and like putting your hand through the air and it's soaking wet, and 92 and it's like a little humid, right? Korea is a little humid, but it's not like crazy humid like in the south. So, oh, it's also early in the season still, so not a lot of stuff is greening yet. There's a lot of stuff that's not green, so it's not as pretty as it's going to be. And the cherry blossoms should be coming in soon. Probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, the cherry blossoms will be in. And that's when everything starts turning really green. Everything starts turning really green when the cherry blossoms bloom. The cherry blossoms are like the informal signal that spring is like fully going on. So there's a lot of pheasants in here. I actually see them flying out in the mornings. So it's great stuff. But yeah, we're trucking along, guys. We're trucking along. I gotta figure out where I'm going. I'm not actually 100% clear where I'm at right now, because I've never taken this way, and I have to see those apartments over there, guys, those ones in the distance, those are the ones we're going to. We're kind of jumping across and then going over. So, all right. Until we get more interesting scenery, I'll just talk a little bit. So, at the end of the day, guys, it was pretty good. Now, a little bit of an update. The last couple days have been absolutely insane in the online sphere. Man, the coping that I've been seeing from people about orthodoxy and all this stuff is just insane. These people are so salty. They're like, Orthodox. The whole atonement stuff with Father Stephen, Father Deacon Ananias, Alex Soren, and everyone else has been kind of crazy. So it's been absolutely cleave. And here's the thing. What's funny is that all the newest and biggest apologists that are coming up, the biggest voices, you know, Jay is kind of focusing more on geopolitics and philosophy now. And he's kind of let go of the reins a bit on theology. He'll still talk theology, right? Like Jay will clearly talk about theology. But we're gonna run across this real quick. It's a narrow bridge, so I don't want to take my time on it. I hate it when cars are like whipping by me. I hate it when cars whip by me and I'm like on a narrow road. Here's a good example of this is like a 1970s home. 1970s home, very usual. This is like a typical farming home. You can see they have a little farm here and all that stuff. This is a very rural area. The mountains, those are more like hills. Those are foothills. The mountains are beyond that. So, but yeah, man, they were just freaking out. And anyways, Jay has let go of the reins of being the main voice of apologetics. And it's, again, he still does them, but he's kind of fine with letting clergy and younger guys and people that are newer to the scene kind of take over with some, like, with his input every once in a while, because he'll still jump into stream and listen and stuff like that. And, you know, Alex Soren, Cleve, I don't want to put myself in that, but Planks is a really smart guy. You know, mature married guys are coming into the space. You know, Cleve's married, Alex is married, Planks is married, and some of these other guys are all married, right? So there's a level of maturity that comes with marriage especially if you've been married for as long as me and Alex have, which is 10 years. You know, Alex Soren's people don't realize Alex has been married 10 years, guys. So, you know, that there's a level of like maturity that comes with that length of time. And so all of us are kind of, what's funny is that we are all kind of on the same page. We're all kind of on the same page when it comes to theology, what the church's teachings are, the clergy, like the clergy that are in the space, especially the online clergy that are in the online space, they're almost all in agreement with us. I haven't met any that have come out and said that, you know what, these guys are wrong or false or evil or whatever else, right? None of them have come out and said that. And so what's happening is that a lot of these terminally online goobers, these dorks, are going around and just having a complete hissy fit. They're losing their minds about it. Completely losing their minds. Yeah, it's sad. There we go. Some freshly tilled soil. You can see they're tilling in the grass that grows. So they always plant some planter grass right before they plant everything, and then they till it over. It's good for aeration and all that other stuff. Decaying plant matter, you know, the works. All right, now we're on the main road. So this is the road that you can take to get into the city center. So it's a little busy. So I apologize in advance if it's a little loud, but you know, it is what it is. Look at this home, guys. Beautiful home. Just too bad it's on a busy road. Just too bad it's on me. I heard Michael Lofton's given up on the Pope Cope. Really? That is interesting. That is interesting. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not at all surprised. So bunch of restaurants right here. We're almost to the Daiso. Daiso is like a super popular like store here in Korea, and it's really nice. They have really cheap stuff. Like if you're looking to stock if you're moving to a new place and you don't have any dishes, you don't have any utensils, silverware, or anything like that, it's super cheap, super easy to just collect everything that you need. It's great. I'm in rain. It's still freezing. I'm jealous of your thin sweater. Yeah, I know, right, guys? We need our tortoise emoji, darn it. Yeah, I know. I'm almost there. I've taken a couple pictures, and I'm trying to figure out how to transfer them into an emoji. I haven't been able to figure it out yet. Mostly because it's a lot of time to like sink into something that I haven't had a chance yet with. So, yeah. Look at that, guys. It's a barbecue place. It smells like, you guys have no idea. It smells freaking phenomenal right now. It smells so good. Stanima House. Coffee and bar. Behave. Coffee and bar. And we got a coffee and tea place right there. I didn't even know there was some of this stuff out here. Hey, there's an Italian place here. I didn't know there was an Italian. I'm gonna have to take my wife to get some Italian here. My wife is not a big cheese person. She actually hates the smell of cheese. So we don't really ever go to these places, but it might be worthwhile to go to this. That looks great. Oh, I totally want to go here sometime. I'll probably take my daughter first, because I'll make it a daddy-daughter date, because we like cheese. My wife is not a big cheese person, and Italian food famously is very into their cheeses. I'm gonna check it out real quick, guys. Octavian, what's up, brother? By the way, you guys have been super generous the last couple weeks. Oh, it looks great, guys. I'm definitely gonna have to come here. There's something so nice about brick. A brick building is like 10 times better than anything else you can go to. It's insane. It's like so much more quaint. So, update on the wisdom teeth. We are looking at a date to schedule the removal. So I'm not out of the woods yet, but whatever medicine they gave me for my jaw pain and for the nerve pain, bro, that's some of the most like it went from like a 10 out of 10 pain where I was like just miserable. I could barely function. Oh, son of a gun. What the fudge was that? Bug just hit me, guys. Flew right into my ear. Holy crap, that freaked me out. You almost got me cussing. Those who don't appreciate cheese, anathema. So true. I'm gonna tell my wife that. Got some fresh flowers already blooming. Look at that. Cozy House. This is a newish place. It's a chain of steakhouses here in Korea. Steak pasta pizza. All right, this is where we're going, guys. This is where we're going. It's actually surprisingly busy here. What possibilities of Korea having Mexican? There are Mexican restaurants here, but you got to be like, again, it's like any restaurant anywhere in the world. It's about having a good location and being able to market yourself and being consistent. Like if you're not consistent with your food and if you aren't active on your socials, you're not going to get it. Someone tore this out. I kind of want to get one. I heard that tortoises can eat these, so. Huh, interesting. It's okay. Nah, bro. Yeah, guys, so I might get a little snack. Show you guys some of the snacks here. These are definitely not the healthiest. Korean flag. They had to put that in there. There's really nothing. There's no drinks here. Huh. I'm not seeing it, guys. Some of them are definitely I mean, you'll notice. Oh, this is what I was looking for. Xylitol crystals. They got beauty section. These little stones have xylitol in them. They're supposed to help with your teeth. There's no sugar. You probably eat anything. I mean, there's some truth to that. Huh. I'm in the gardening section. Interesting. So we're looking for, this is what I'm, so I'm looking for this, guys. My wife said she needs 2 or 3 of these. I'm trying to find these. This is my mission today. I have to get this done. $7 total. Not sure. Interesting. I'm thinking about getting some stuff for the fish. But not right now. I got everything. Ah. There we go. Found it, guys. 2 or 3. We'll get 3. Because I know what's going to happen. My wife is going to get 2. It's not going to be enough. And then when I try and when I get 2 or 3 and it's not enough, she's going to be like, why didn't you get more? Aquarium substrate. Kind of really tempted to get this. I think we do this, guys. Nah, I can't do it. We'll do it another time. Alright. Somebody said someone's message was withheld. Red is tasty. I like red things. So true. Korean food, Rex. I would say 닭갈비 is my favorite. 닭갈비. 갈비탕. Samgyeopsal is always really, really good. Some of the things like that. Alright, 1 second, guys. Gotta pay for this.
Please scan the barcode on your product. Please check it. Please enter your mobile phone number. Please scan the QR code or barcode for payment by running the Simple Payment mobile app.
I just want to pay this way.
Please select a payment method. Push the card to the end. 지급카드로 결제 시 교통카드로 선택해 주십니다. The payment has been completed. Ladies and gentlemen, you need a receipt. Please press the receipt.
All right, guys. It's done. We're done. Do you realize how long it took me to realize kimchi was cabbage? Koreans I wouldn't say invented it, but they've mastered the art of making fermented cabbage. I mean, really what it is fermented cabbage. But Koreans are master fermenters. Like those, they know how to ferment things better than just about anybody. In fact, there's a lot of science and people studying they're fermenting like the bacterias they use and all this other stuff. They are masters at it. Absolute masters at it. And they don't just ferment cabbage either. They pickle and ferment all sorts of different things. So I need this so badly right now. Okay. Let's throw this away. We're gonna throw this away, and then we'll get walking, guys. We'll walk towards the city center, so there's more interesting stuff for you guys to see. Just 1 second. Awesome. I made homemade soup and added kimchi, and the flavor is unreal. Yeah, kimchi stew here in Korea is freaking crazy good. Crazy good. Yeah, guys, expect my walking streams again to pick up steam now that the weather's starting to get nicer. We're gonna do a lot more walking streams. I'm even gonna print out some like talking points that I have so that we can talk about different things, show you guys around the city, all that stuff. So xylitol is like one of the minerals that helps remineralize your teeth. It's also antibacterial. So it's like anti-plaque, etc., etc. Am I still an American citizen? Absolutely. I still got to pay American taxes, even though I don't live there, don't work there. Still got to pay the taxes, still have to vote, all that nonsense. Guys, look at this bakery. It's a 3-story bakery cafe. Freaking crazy, look at that. Hey guys, please pray for my wife. She called me crying today. She has a part-time job because, she wants to get out of the house. Her boss is being a bastard. I should say a bitch. She works with all women. I said, honey, I told her, I don't know what you expected. You can get along with 90% of the people at your workplace, and it only takes one person to make your life a living hell. It takes one person to make your life a living hell. This is why I have my own business now. I'm so sick and tired of dealing with bastards. So sick and tired of it. I've dealt with so many bad supervisors, supervisors that just have like a stick up their rear end, thinking that they're the best thing since sliced cheese. Like, they're just terrible, terrible people. Got a bunch of restaurants over here, guys. A lot of restaurants. Those are expensive apartments. They're super nice. I didn't even work a corporate job either. By the way, I worked as a contractor for a large defense contractor. So, essentially for the DOD. And those people are the worst people on the planet. The bureaucracy is insane. If you guys experience even a fraction of the bureaucracy in the average company, is insane. Absolutely insane. Octavian, God bless you, brother. I totally understand where you're coming from. I technically own my own business now, and I work with other businesses to remove the waste and to, I help, I do consultations and all that stuff. I help them figure out how to best have their digital environment, maximize their productivity and all that nonsense. The amount of waste that some companies have is insane. It's insane the amount of waste they have. Insane. And also the amount of security risks and the security loopholes that they have in their cybersecurity standing. Insane stuff. Got another nice little tire shop here. Got a butcher shop. It's a butcher / restaurant. Got a church. Now, believe it or not, there's not as many English signs as you'd think here. Okay, we're getting closer to the downtown city, so we'll flip this around. Interesting. Dude, I was helping a buddy remove office equipment from a fancy office tower. Dude, so much good equipment out the door. Dude, the amount of waste that these corporations do, it's like, we're going to get everybody a new office chair. Why? Well, because we don't want anyone to feel left out if someone else gets a new office chair. What the hell? And then they throw out all these perfectly good chairs. And they just end up in a landfill. It's insane. I let staff interview their leadership. That's good. Dude, I've had some horrible vice presidents I've worked for. I've had some horrible, And by the way, it's not just leadership in the corporate sphere. The amount of 4-star, 3-star, and 2-star generals that are just completely incompetent is mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. They're totally incompetent. They don't know the area that they're in charge of. I had a 2-star general who was he was in charge of the cybersecurity division on a base. And he didn't know anything about computers, technology, anything like that. Insane. Insane stuff. Like, how can you effectively lead? How can you effectively lead if that's the case? If you don't know the area that you're leading, you should at least have the ability to speak what your industry is or what you're doing. You should be able to explain, at least on a surface level, the job of each and every one of your employees. But they don't do that. Most of them are just hoping that they get a promotion so they can get to the next best and brightest thing that they actually want to do. So it's very incompetent. That's how nepotism works, bro. Yeah, but nepotism's good if it's communal. It's bad if it's entirely in a company. Like a company, there needs to be some level of meritocracy. I'm not saying nepotism is like always bad. So that's something that a lot of people like get confused about. That's not what I believe. But it's important to have people that are actually competent. There's something going on here, guys. I've never seen this before. Look at that. There's some crazy going on here. It's a bunch of tents. I think I'm gonna go through here, guys. I'm gonna see what's going on. Oh, I can't go this way. Oh, it's like a little mini market. They got a mini market going on. It's getting that time of the year. They do this kind of things all the time here in Korea. All the time, especially during the spring and summer. They have these like little pop-up shops that spring up everywhere. And it's kind of like a market testing thing. They kind of see how popular it might be. So it's like kind of like a farmer's market. Kind of like a farmer's market. I see that. That's guys, I'm telling you though, Korea is so much opportunity economically right now. People I know everyone says the economy in Korea is doing really bad, but it's kind of the economy around the world is kind of struggling right now. But a good entrepreneur, somebody who has a little bit of cash or can invest into certain businesses here, restaurants and certain types of work, they can make a killing here, especially outside of Seoul. Yes, Octavian, you're 100% correct. I think that's a really important distinction. That's a really smart distinction too. It's a really, really smart distinction. And I think it's important to remember that. But yeah, there's so many opportunities here for people that, if they do their research and they open up a business here, there's so much opportunity. You just need preferably if you don't speak Korean, you need a Korean speaking partner who can actually know the background here. But it's crazy how much growth there is outside of Seoul. Seoul is the anchor on Korea's neck. It's really what causes 90% of the problems here. It's what causes most of the birth rate issues. It's what causes most of the lopsidedness in the economy. It's what causes most of the young people to flee their hometowns and go there. It's really like, and I love Seoul. Seoul's great, but it's probably 30% too large. It needs to like literally depopulate by 30%. And I think it would be a much more livable city, less crowded, and a lot of those people would move back to the second tier, third tier cities or small hamlets throughout Korea, and the economy would boom because that's what's needed. No one holds themselves to standards anymore. It's so true. I have a very simple standard when it comes to clients. I talk to clients and I say, listen, this is what you need. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how much the competition costs you. And I'm just very straightforward with it. A lot of people, they lie through their teeth to people and they just have no integrity. No integrity. They lie through their teeth all the time. And it's insane to me that they can get away with it. Absolutely insane to me. Woo! So we're still kind of in the outskirts of the city, guys. So here's the outskirts. We're getting close to the river walk, which I've shown you guys before. And we're gonna head up straight. We're gonna cross the street, and then we're gonna go over to a new park that just opened up. Like they just like opened it, and I kind of want to check it out. So we'll check that out, and then we'll make our way back home after that. Maybe give you guys a short little house tour for those of you who have not seen one yet. That'll be fun. You got like, see, look at you guys we're in the middle of a city. Korea uses every square inch of land. See right here? These are plums or peaches. I can't remember. They use every square, like 2 feet from a major road. Got a little farm here, 2 feet from a major road. Like they're already, look at there, right there. You see that? Those are spring onions. Spring onions. Or some people will call them leeks. Some people call them leeks. But those are great. I love leeks. You get some spring onion salad. Boy, good stuff. Let's see here. I'll let my wife choose Midtown or Countryside. She chose Countryside. She's a wise girl. Yeah, I think Midtown is one of those things that here in Korea, you don't have much of an option. You can move to a rural area, but even the rural areas are highly compact because they're focused more on maximizing the amount of green space than they care about individuals like privacy. Now you can find super rural things, you can find super rural stuff, but it's like the exception because most people want to have at least some level of convenience to getting like groceries and things like that, right? But if you can afford it, even the most rural place in Korea is still within reasonable distance of a fairly substantial city center or something like that. So that's the nice thing about living in Korea, is that everything is very close. She bakes, cooks, makes cheese, and I'm now a pastor because she wanted sheep. I thought you said pastor as in like pastor, you know, like a preacher. I was like, Tavian, what the hell, man? You donating to all of us ortho bros. Look at that. Little gas station. It's brand freaking new. Like this was being built like not even like a month or two ago. I was actually there. So this is insane. Some crazy stuff. That is the price per liter right now, by the way, guys. So think you're lucky. Actually, that's really cheap here in Korea. That's really cheap in Korea. Korea's like a little expensive right now. That's per liter. So in other words, it's about $1.40 a liter. $1.40 a liter, give or take. It's $1.40 a liter. So, you know, then you multiply that by however many liters for a gallon. and that's roughly how much you're going to be. And the thing you got to remember is that you're not driving very far here in Korea. Like, even if you own a car, you're not actually spending as much money on gas as you'd think. Even though the gas prices are higher, you're not spending as much. Why? Because everything is like 2 feet away from each other. Like, everything you need is like within reasonable driving distance. Best thing is no noise, light pollution. In the evening, we hear animals and see stars, no artificial noise. Yeah, I would agree with that. Me and my wife try and get out of the city at least a few times a year and just like have a nice trip out of the city into the mountains with our daughter, and we just enjoy it. Like, we try and do that a couple times a year. It's really great. I can see, like, when I'm on the very outer edge of this city, I can see a good amount of stars, but it's not nearly as many as when I was growing up in rural Minnesota. Rural Minnesota, it's like, you can see everything. It's crazy. And sometimes you can even get lucky. You'll see the northern lights occasionally. You'll occasionally get to see the northern lights in Minnesota if you're lucky. And that's in the northern part of the state. But the nice thing here is that this city's not that bad, actually. This is a fairly family friendly city. The traffic's not too bad. It's nice. I can't complain. So, how are you guys doing, by the way? The PSA stuff was so funny the last few weeks. Like, the last few weeks have been hilarious. The absolute amount of cope coming from the Latinizer dorks was just a sight to behold. It was so funny. And then people found out where at least one of their priests were, and that priest came out and said, yeah, no, I don't teach that. Who's teaching that? Just absolutely crazy. It is really nice, by the way. And one thing I will say, the air quality has improved substantially in Korea over the time that I've lived here. It's still not great in Seoul. I mean, but honestly, I don't really care. I think the whole air pollution thing, is semi over dramatized. I think they do it for like environmentalist purposes. I feel like certain environmental scientists like overemphasize how bad carbon dioxide from the cars and exhaust from cars is. I think they over dramatize it. I'm gonna be like straight up. I think they do that specifically so they can get their like specific niche little like laws passed and stuff like that. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. And so anyways, the air quality has improved substantially though, even with that being said, here in Korea, because a lot of electric cars on the streets now. They're almost by the end of 2028 or 2029, they're going to have almost every single city bus in Korea is going to be hydrogen based. PSA pissants are in utter pandemonium. I know they're floundering. And they're trying to retreat back to their stupid quote mines, which more and more people are realizing are really bad AI translations, really bad translations. And I think that's the key. The key was always like, don't panic when someone sends you a English translation of a church father. During the Carboniferous period, the CO2 levels were 1,000 times higher than today. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I'm not a old earther guy, but I do know that historically, even during the medieval warming period and the Roman warming period, we were significantly higher levels of CO2 in the atmosphere, and the weather was significantly warmer. And guess what? Those are times when empires thrived, absolutely thrived. So the melting glaciers and all that stuff. And actually, there is some suggestions that Greenland used to be very green, and there was actually huge populations of caribou in Greenland before it got colder. So even if we were to warm, like, let's accept all the presuppositions. Let's accept all the presuppositions from the scientists. Why should we be worried about it getting that much warmer? Well, their argument is always, well, the melting glaciers. The glaciers already, okay, first off, water expands, right? So when it's frozen, it expands. The displaced water is not going to be that significant compared to the water that is in the runoff. So the water that runs off is not going to be a significant jump. I'm looking for if there's any plants here. This is great. I think that we're going to take this for the tortoises, guys. For the tortoises. They love dandelion flowers. They absolutely love dandelion flowers. So when I see them, I like to grab some dandelion flowers and give it to them. Gotta wash them first, though. Ice bridge theory, Eurasian America, animal distribution, bison, caribou, etc. Are you in North Korea or South Korea? I'm in South Korea. North Korea, if I was in North Korea, I wouldn't be able to be quite as boisterous as I am now. Though that being said, I'm actually mostly, like, honestly, I don't think they would even mind, because I'd probably advocate for Kim Jong-un to be king, you know? Not because I necessarily like everything that Kim Jong-un does, but because I think that monarchy is a superior system. So, they got nothing in common except their enmity with Holy Orthodoxy. Who's got nothing? Nicholai, you, Alex, and Cleve have made the Cathys and Prots unite. That's how you know you're doing it right. I know, right? It's kind of crazy. I get a lot of slander, guys. Guys, I've seen what some of these guys talk about in their discords about me. They're not nice people. They're very rude. Very rude. Super rude. Super rude. All right. And, but yeah, they're also allying with the non-Chalcedonians. And did you see that Voice of Reason had a sit down with Agen and all those dorks? Listen, they're all in on it together. They're all ecumenists. All of them. They're all universally ecumenists. They hate Holy Orthodoxy because we're the only ones that are actually consistent about our position about being the true church. PSA Latinizers fraternizing with RCs and Prots instead of Orthodox over this. Voice of Greason, so true. I don't know how anybody is platforming that dude after what he did. It boggles. That's why, like, I lost all respect. I was already kind of like not a big fan of him because of what he was doing. The Roots of Orthodoxy guy and the Roots of Faith guy. But the moment that he refused to even to call out Voice of Reason, and the fact that he's giving that guy a new platform to continue his grift is insane. That is absolutely insane. Guys, the Council of Ephesus was a mistake. They made a mistake. They shouldn't have anathemized Nestorius. That's just like Alex Jones, except I can't do as deep a voice. All right, folks. We all know that the Council of Ephesus was controlled by the Emperor, and the Emperor manipulated the bishops to anathematize Nestorius. Nestorius is a true saint. You know, that's like what that's what they would have you believe, right? One of the weaknesses they have and why such cope is that they have no cohesion except a common enemy. But it means they're totally isolated from the actual institutions they respectively rep. Yes. Yeah, it was before on Lila Rose. So true. I forgot about that. It's insane, guys. Absolutely insane. Don't you know that's what... Do you guys remember... I don't know if any of you guys were like Christian, like you grew up Christian, stuff like that. You guys remember in Minnesota we had this huge like music festival called Sundance. And it was like a huge like festival with like multi-day festival where they would have like every Christian rock, heavy metal, etc. band that you could possibly imagine. Every major Christian band in America would show up there almost without fail. There was a few times where they didn't show up, but like with weather reasons. But one of them, remember you guys, Family Force 5? You guys remember that? You guys might remember this. Hold up, wait a minute, put a little love in it. And then they'd be like, doctor, I got an emergency. It says I'm head over heels a case of LOVE. And then they'd have the other guy go, and then I'm going inside. It's a glory inside. And then it's like, and then they'd all sing, hold up, wait a minute, put a little love in it. Come on, guys, you don't remember that? Like if you grew up in the Christian, like evangelical sphere, these guys were like the coolest thing since sliced cheese. They're like, oh my gosh, I could actually have like a punk rock band that's Christian. Ah! Family Force 5 used to do free concerts at Moda Center in Portland. Oh gosh, rock is so cringe. It can be. Some of it's really good though. I'm actually kind of a fan of the guy's voice. Not all some of their songs are a little cringy, but I do like Need to Breathe. I like his voice. He has that kind of country twang, but it's still like a southern rock style thing. I like that. I really like that style. I like his voice. I like that style. You gotta like that style. You gotta like that style. Okay, guys. Well, that's the new park. It doesn't look as nice as it should, mostly because nothing's like growing yet. There's like nothing coming in. It's across the street. I got old coworker that still loves Christian rap and rock bands from back then. Several of the 90s were centered in Washington. Pray for the soul in that ambulance, guys. Pray for the soul in the ambulance if you can. Do a quick little cross. Do a little quick cross for the person in that ambulance, please. My bishop always said you should pray for every time you see an ambulance, you should do the sign of the cross and pray for them. Hold up, wait a minute, put a little love in it. I know you guys know that song. I know you guys do. Or what was that other one? Everybody wobble, wobble your head, wobble your head. You guys don't remember that? Wobble your head, wobble your head. Put your head back and forth and wobble your head. And then they would like have that stupid like wobbling, wobble, 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 wobble. It's so bad. It's crazy. I never got into that by the time I was listening to Norma Jean and The Chariot and His Legend. Yeah. When I was very young, I never liked any music. Me and good Godfather actually united on our mutual love for Starflyer 59. Totally underrated band. You guys, it's like one of those bands where they're like very moral. Like he's a Christian, but he doesn't like wear it on his sleeve in his music. His music's just good. It's just good music. Also, what if Nicholai converts to Kim Jong-un? Christian kingdom we have. So true. Pray for Kim Jong-un to become Orthodox. He would go down as like a new... Because if he converts, basically everyone in North Korea converts. And if everybody in North Korea converts, he's like the new Constantine. He would go down as like Constantine the Great, you know? That'd be kind of crazy, guys. Be kind of crazy. Yeah, we used to go to the Christian summer festivals with rock bands and stuff. If we actually good of meeting chicks, yes, dude. How many guys? You know how many guys in my youth group would be like, dude, we're gonna go there. We're gonna meet some chicks, right? We're gonna meet the Christian evangelical babes who love Jesus. And I was always like, okay. The thing is that what people don't realize is that the popularity high school contests that exist in high school exist in most of these evangelical churches too. If you had a youth group, there were certain people that got into a clique and they were just popular and everybody wanted to be around. They orbited around those people. And all of those people would be like the leaders of the various, I don't know if you guys remember this. We have cell groups. Do you guys remember that? That was a big thing when I was growing up, cell groups. It's like a cell. You start with one and then you split once you get big enough. And then a new person takes lead of that cell group. And then once they get big enough, they split and they split and they split. And then before you know it, the whole country is Orthodox again, or the whole country is evangelical. Wow, look how big our church is getting. Like, it was all about numbers game. It was like this goatee and polos. So true, organized insanity. So true. Like Wes Hufflepuff. You guys are cracking me up today. But yeah, the cell would split, and the cell would split, and then then eventually the church is like 10,000 strong, and we're changing the culture. See, guys, we want to change the culture. Split the cell. That's what they would do, guys, right? And emergent church thing, yes, it was very much like that, yes. And I always remember being cringed out by that stuff. And here's the thing, it didn't work, because almost every single one of those popular kids that were like they were the church leaders, they would go on mission trips, and they were all like super on fire for Jesus. They went off to college, and within 3 or 4 years, they were all libtards, all of them. These were conservative, on fire for Jesus, going on mission trips to Peru, building churches, building homes for people, leading church worship, leading all of these things. Like the popular kids, all of them, except for, I think there's only 2 or 3 that I grew up with, and I actually remember who they were. All of them have become complete and utter insufferable libtards. Remake of Grease, but it's your Wednesday night youth group. Yes. They would do all kinds of cringe crap like that. And again, the only people that were actually like reasonably popular were always like the youth pastor's kid. And then the youth pastor's kid would be popular with all the other kids that were popular in the local high schools. So there'd be like 2 or 3 local high schools, and those popular kids that liked Jesus, but they were like not super loud about it. And then they'd become for some reason, the popular kids all magically became the leaders of the cell groups. And for me, I didn't really care about popularity. I was kind of like always on the outskirts of all of that stuff. Like I was friendly with every group. I was friendly with the popular guys. I went to Bible studies with them. And I was like always quiet about it, because I always noticed that they got gossipy, they got all that stuff. And then I was like, whatever, they're young, right? And I was young too, to be fair. But man, every single one of them without fail have become libtards, pro-trans. Some of them became trans. They became just insufferable, totally insufferable. Their faith. The worst part about it is they took girls that were like good, as traditional as you could get girls, married them, and then proceeded to become total libtards. And, these girls, because they love them, followed them. And those girls are now libtarded too. They're just totally insufferable. Totally insufferable. So, I didn't do drugs. I've never done drugs. I've never gotten high. I've never... I don't know. It was never something that I was I was never something that I was attracted to. It was never something that I felt the need to engage in. I had buddies that get high. I even went to their house sometimes, and they'd go to their back and they'd smoke a joint, and we'd play video games together. Like I was a gamer at heart, and I just liked gaming with guys, and I liked chilling, having pizza, and just like sometimes talking about philosophy and reading books. That was me. I was a book reader. I didn't really do much. About it. Yeah, I was super chill. But man, have these guys, like, so many of them have gone off they've gone off the total deep end. The complete and total deep end. And all of them became so libtarded, it was insane, guys. So libtarded. And they've deconstructed their faith. Like, they're all part of that deconstructionist movement. One of them went to school to be an author, and now they're a real estate agent. That's all they do. Like, he went to a Christian college. Here's what's crazy. They became libtarded in a Christian university. A university that was really well known in my state. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it's called Bethel University in Minnesota. Bethel University. They all went to Bethel, and it's expensive, by the way. Freaking crazy expensive college. And they got degrees in useless crap, and now they're all coping about being communist and stuff like that because, the economy isn't fair. It's like you got a degree in theology and writing. Yes, Bethel, Nick Flip says. So true. Heard of it. Yep. You got a degree in theology and writing, and you became Marxists. Of course you're not, making any money. Are you crazy? It's I didn't even graduate. I went 3.5 years for a history degree. Totally useless. Total regret. I regret wasting my time doing it. I should have went instantaneously into IT right away. And I'm not talking programming. I'm talking physical IT work, actually installation of copper cabling and fiber optic cabling and all that kind of stuff. Because that actually is where the money's at. If you want to get into money with the IT field, you can learn programming and you can learn the basics of back-end support and cloud infrastructure and stuff like that. But really the money is learning how to maintain those data centers, HVAC, fiber optic cabling installation, all of the heavy duty, more blue collar oriented IT work. That's where the money's at. That's technically where my degree's is in network engineering. So not my degree, my expertise. Because I got trained into that in the Air Force and as a DoD contractor. That was where I did most of my work at. So, I caught a mistake in your live stream with Alex the other day when you were talking to the bald American guy about PSA. Wasn't me. Someone pointed it out to me, though. Go ahead. Yeah, let me know. Jeff Never, are you in tech? Yeah, so currently I have a small business. It's called Monarch Cyber Solutions. If you go to www.monarchcybersolutions.net, you should be able to see it there. But it's actually really good. We do a good job. We have a lot of we don't have a lot of clients, but we're building up our clientele base. So yeah, if you know anybody who could use IT support, programming, website development, digital marketing, consultation, cybersecurity assessments, etc., we do it all. So yes, Monarch Cyber Solutions. We do some programming, but it's not where our focus is at. We do some website development, web dev stuff as well. So how much Orthodox resources and media are in Korean? Not a lot. That's one of the areas that we need to start catching up with. Subtitling is going to be a big thing going forward. Subtitling, useful materials. If someone could subtitle Alex Soren's videos into Korean, that would be huge. So it's weird how so many people never consider whether they could actually support themselves with the degree they get. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. All of these people, this is a huge park right here, guys. It's a pretty large park for all the kids, and they'll set up huge farmers markets here I think every 3 weeks they do it, every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks they'll set up a farmers market here, and it's just popping busy. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the best thing that we can do is really just support our, I mean, your guys' support, your like super chats for me, for Alex, for all these other guys, it goes a long way. I'm actually getting semi-close. Like, honestly, I'm getting semi-close to being able to do the content creation like substantially more. I'm getting really, really close. Funny enough. Because I went from an average of like $200 to $300 a month on YouTube. And you guys have just like, it's been a steady increase since then. And I think we're getting close to like averaging 5 to 6 a month, which is really good. That really helps a lot. Mostly because there's a lot of expenses right now that I'm dealing with, but also with everybody else, like with Alex and all you guys, like, just do the math, guys, man. We're like, Alex and Cleve are close to at least part-time work on their channels, minimum. You know, what about translations and books? Are there many Korean translations? The ones that we do have been translated directly from my bishop and some other bishops. There isn't a lot, actually. There's a handful of books, but there's not a lot of good like introductory material. Really, the big problem is just there's just not a lot of good introductory material in Korean, like with the basics. I like one of the best things that could happen, I think, is getting St. John Damascus's exposition on the Orthodox faith. His book on that would probably be huge for Korea. And other things like that. Saint Seraphim Rose, don't have his stuff yet, but I think nihilism would do really good here. And then orthodoxy and the religion of the future, I think, would do really good here. Do Koreans have the most Orthodox growth in East Asia? It's probably a toss-up between Korea and Japan. Japan's seen steady growth. The Japanese Orthodox Church is doing a decent job. The only thing is that I just wish that they would put more effort into outreach. Right now, they're more focused on like just stability, which is understandable, but they need to reach out to the youth. Like, Japanese youth are ready for it. They're so ready for it. St. John Damascus is good, yeah. Guys, we've been walking for an hour and a half almost. Probably a little bit less because I started the stream a little bit before we got outside, but an hour and a half walk's not bad. Koreans are Christian, kind of. They're kind of Christian. I'm going to cross. Koreans are kind of Christian. And what I mean by that is that technically a third of Korea is Christian, a third of Korea is like Buddhist / shamanistic, and then a third is just like irreligious. I wouldn't call them atheists. Very few Koreans are like expressly vocally atheist. They're not like obnoxious Westerners that are like, I need to scream on the top of the rooftops that I'm an atheist. There's a lot of Koreans that are just like irreligious. So it's like a third. Shamanism is growing in Korea again, yes. A folk religion is growing again in Korea. Too many pseudo-Christian cults in Korea, yes. And that's the problem, is that there's a lot of like syncretism here. Koreans are very syncretistic. They love combining aspects of different faiths together. There's a little music academy right here, guys. Little coffee place. These that's one thing, guys. Opening a coffee / bakery, little coffee bakery place. If it's in like one of these like apartment complexes areas, they do so well. They're always busy. There's always people there. And as long as you like have good relationship with all of the people that come in, and You encourage them to come get their morning coffees from you and things like that. Man, they do so well. It shocks me that more people don't open like little coffee shops here. Chicken place, like just like the amount of like economic opportunity here is just like mind-boggling compared to other places. Can you read Korean? Yeah, again. By the way, true patristic, what did you say? Do you ever miss living in America? No, not really. I don't get homesick. I don't really care if I go back or not. The only thing that I miss is my family, but you know, my family's all spread out throughout the United States. And because they're all spread out throughout the United States, there's really just not much for me to do. One could partner with FDA First Coffee. Yeah, I feel like an Orthodox coffee shop would do really well here. Especially if you opened it near a chapel where, especially if you opened up one near a chapel, because you'd have a built-in customer base with the parish, which is really useful. Is syncretism a problem with Christian or Korean Orthodoxy on a layman level? No. That's because they heavily catechize them. Leave the coffee shop to the mega church prots. Nah, you know, I think it's important that you build up the economy in your community. I'm not saying you have to open one in your church, but I think if somebody opens one up near your church, then, you know, it provides an outlet for your money to be kept in the community, right? That's the whole point. You want to keep your money in the community. If someone opens a grocery store and they're Orthodox, I want everyone at my Orthodox parish to be going to that grocery store if possible. Why? Because that's what's useful, right? I was thinking something like with a duck pond and maybe farming oats and honey from beehives for the coffee. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that you can do, like, and mutually supporting one another. Like, there's a small business in Texas that produces his own jams. He's phenomenal. His jams are great. It's called Red Door Country Store. You guys can look it up on Google. Red Door Country Store. Also called Landrum Acres. I think Landrum Acres. He produces he grows his own food. He grows his own like ingredients, and then he makes jams out of it, and he sells it at his country store, and he sells them at farmers markets. He has an online store too. People should be ordering from him, right? That is what we need to do. Yeah, no, that tunnel has always got some really good reverb. It's so important. You could do super late night streams, since late night for us is evening for you. So true. By the way, true patristic, what was the thing you were saying about what I got wrong? Because if I got something wrong, I'm totally willing to correct it. If I missed something or I misspoke. So just let me know. Do people mostly live in apartments or individual houses there? Mostly apartments like those. That's where I live. But it's increasingly popular to live in villas or in small little houses on the outskirts of town. That's getting more and more popular again. I'd say it's like 60-40. And it also depends on the area, as Vigo said. If you live in a big city, you're going to live in an apartment most likely. Otherwise, it's crazy expensive to live in a single house in a city. You know, I live in a city of 2 million people. You know, that means that a good chunk of the people are going to live in apartments. But if you live in a city of, like, let's say 250,000 or less, you probably will be fine doing that. So there's a school. That's the local school. All the kids in all of these apartments go there. They all go there. So there's kids running all over the place here. It's so nice seeing kids run around and play and not be worried that they're going to get abducted. Like, my daughter can go outside and play with her friends. No cares in the world. No one's worried about a school getting shot up. No one's worried about a bomb. No one's worried about some weird kidnappers and stuff like that. That's part of the reason why I don't miss America, because America has become it's become a place that doesn't actually do anything about crime. It doesn't actually enforce the law. And because of that, it's become unlivable. Huge swaths of it have become unlivable. And if you want to live in a place that does do that, it's expensive as shit, right? And then it's like, let's say your daughter turns 16 and she wants to go to the cities with her friends. You're completely uncomfortable the whole time because you never know if that's the last time you're going to see her. You know, you don't know if that's the last time she, like if some psycho who's been released from prison 40 times is going to go and slit her throat. I mean, it's just straight up. I'm just being honest here, right? So that is really what it comes down to. That sounds like good. Oat milk, honey coffee. Ooh, yeah, that does sound good. The least graffiti vandals could do is make good art, but most of it's trash. Yeah, no. Truth is necessary. Is living in Korea expensive? No. It's, I mean, how do I say this in a way that makes sense? If you live in Seoul and you choose to live in the most expensive city in Korea, it's expensive. But if you choose to like make a life outside of Seoul, it's cheap. So cheap here. Dude, if listen, I can live easily. If I were a single guy, I could easily live on $1,500, $1,200 to $1,500 a month, easily, and still put money into savings if you budget properly. I'm talking US dollars. That's rent, utilities, phone bill, groceries, transportation costs, all of your bills covered, and still have a couple $100 at the end of the month for entertainment and maybe put into some savings. Easy. You have to be willing to, you know, scale down your living lifestyle. You got to be willing to live in a studio apartment or a villa or maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, you know, things like that. But it's doable. If you are a family, let's say you're married with one child, you probably need to get about 2.2 to 2.5K a month to have a comparable lifestyle. Again, it's tight. You're not going to be super comfortable and you're not going to be rolling in the money, but it's livable, right? So that is the so that's the reality of the situation, right? The reality is that it's as expensive as you make it. But the thing about America is, and the reason it's so reasonable is because you can live in the poor part of town, and it's just as, my goodness, I'm a little bruised there, aren't I? You can live in the poor part of town, and it's just as safe as the expensive part of town. Internet in the elevator is crazy. Yeah, they even have a TV that plays advertisements. So, to make it clear, to make myself clear, if you live in a poor area of Korea, you're probably just as safe as if you were to live in a expensive area in the United States. Like multi-million-dollar neighborhood, fenced-in neighborhood, you can live in a poor area of Korea and you're just going to be as safe as anywhere else because, one, they have CCTV, 2, they actually enforce the law, and 3, the Koreans are just generally in a safe state. They're generally in a safe state overall, right? So that's important to keep in mind. So let's get this. 1 second, guys. I gotta go find a stand for this. Yo, what's up? I have been okay. I'm actually I'm doing okay because the medicine has been kicking my balls and like making me actually a functional adult again. So that's been good. Okay. It's been a while since I popped into your streams. Yeah, man. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see all y'all. All y'all. All y'all so good. So good to me. Gotta love it, brother. Gotta love it. You missed my rant about Christian rock music from like the early 2000s. We were like singing, we were reminiscing, we're doing all that nonsense. Okay, guys. So I am going to. That's not right. All right. Actually. So this is a nice thing, actually. It's kind of cool. I'll show you guys. Put my hat back on. All of our food came in that, so we don't even need to leave the house to do groceries. We do still when we need specific things, but bulk of our food we just get delivered to us. Coconut, mango, pineapple, syncretic juices, laugh out loud. Nope, no appointment yet. We're waiting on that. I gotta finish my treatment for the medicine first. I gotta do that first. Once I'm finished with that, then we will be getting that scheduled out. I haven't had a chance yet. Basically, is what it comes down to. Oh man, got a bruised banana. What a waste. That banana was just wasted, guys. What a waste of a banana. The whole core is just rotted out. It's so gross. Just the end is good. I saved them. I saved them for banana bread. Because my dad has a freaking phenomenal banana bread recipe. Phenomenal. It's like the best. Best banana bread ever. So good. My mom makes really good banana bread. How many of you guys are in Florida, by the way? You don't need to say where, but if you're in Florida, let me know. You're in California? Bro. Lord have mercy on you. Yeah, if you work my folks live in Florida and they're opening up a restaurant. So I was going to tell you guys you should all patron the restaurant. You should go and patron it. They live in south of Tampa on the Gulf side, south of Tampa, like maybe an hour south of Tampa. Yeah, people always ask me about like living in Korea. It's not expensive at all. And no, I don't really miss. I go back to the States enough to where I get to visit family, I get to enjoy their company, and then I go back to what I'm doing. And you know. And by the way, this idea of like, oh, Americans of all people should not be really complaining too much about the fact that it's like, oh, don't you never get to see your family? Dude, like half of your ancestors left like 80% of their family behind to move to America. Like they left their grandmama and their mima to go like open a restaurant in like Brooklyn, you know? If you didn't live in Korea, where else would you live? Probably I'd be in Florida. I'd probably be with near my folks in Florida. If they were still in Minnesota. I would just want to be close to family. But if you're staying not back in the States, probably like somewhere in Southeast Asia, one of the safer countries in Southeast Asia, or Australia, New Zealand. That region is really nice. Russia, Eastern Russia, though. I wouldn't want to live near Moscow. Parts of Eastern Europe, Serbia. Love Serbia. I'd live in Serbia all day. Beautiful country. Good people. So. Greece, I don't know. I've heard mixed things about Greece. All right, let's see what we got here, guys. We got to boil some potatoes. I'm making some citrus. Athens is hood, but Thessaloniki is goated. I don't know enough about Greece to know. One thing I do know, though, is that education in Korea is dirt cheap. Like, going to university here, so cheap. In fact, if there was an Orthodox university in Korea, it would be really, really, really inexpensive for people to go to seminary. All right. All right, folks. We got nothing more to say. I'm gonna get going here. I gotta do some watching of some stuff, and I gotta get some stuff done. So God bless you guys. I'm gonna make some food for my daughter before she gets home, and we'll see where we go from there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I appreciate you guys, and have a wonderful day.